Guys, we have an urgent breaking news coming out. US Commander-in-Chief orders the Pentagon to start testing nuclear weapons for the first time since 1992. Wow. I want to show you some of this stuff here, guys. This is a red alert, Defcon alert. The US commander said US to resume nuclear weapons testing immediately. At the same time, this news came out today. Russia former leader Dmitry says its new Poseidon nuclear torpedo capable of triggering radioactive tsunami can be considered a true doomsday weapon. Also, Putin announces successful tests of Russian nuclear power Borisnik missile. All right, so we are definitely seeing a lot of Defcon stuff here, guys. At the same time, once again, Donald warns Putin after flying those nukes. Missile test. We got nukes off your shore. We have submarines locked and loaded. Alright guys, before I start, for those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife Jessica Santiago at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida 34691. And for those of you that want to contribute to the channel, we do have the Cash App link and the PayPal link in the comments box and also description box. Thank you so much for your support, guys. At the same time, the Bear high precision missile, well, we got Orishnik to enter combat duty in Belarus this December. Guys, wake up. Wake up. You have countries now getting their stuff out. We're talking about the end time apocalyptic toys. Defcon alert. This should be a Defcon 2. Again, Donald is ordering the Pentagon to immediately, right now, ASAP, let's start testing nukes too. Donald, what happened to you, man? What happened, Donald? Last year, you called out Joe. You told the world that Joe is going to spark WWE3, but look at this now. Donald, what is this? Now you're testing nukes? You slapped sanctions on the bear, and the bear responded with nuclear test. You thought that the bear was going to come to the round table. You thought Russia was going to come to the round table and wave the white flag and everything. Told you guys, told you that he was going to provoke something. And again, I'm not bashing the Donald here, but again, he's going to take us to a huge biblical war. All right. Again, when Joe was in the spotlight, again, MAGA and everybody, they call out Joe and say Joe was going to take us to WWE3. But when Donald is in the spotlight, it's a different tone. It's just a different ball game. And here's the thing, guys. I like Donald. I think he's a good, leader and stuff like that. But when it comes to biblical war, this is a big no. This is a big no. I don't support this stuff here. So the U.S. commander orders the Pentagon to start testing nuclear. We're gonna get, excuse me, guys. We're gonna get to that news, but we do have some more information coming out. Look at this one here. Martial law. Martial law. The Pentagon orders National Guard to establish quick reaction forces for civil unrest riots. Moves comes after the U.S. commander ordered expansion of military units for responding to domestic orders. You hear that? That's basically martial law if you kind of think about it. Uh-oh. Just now. Uh-oh. The U.S. Indo-Pacific Command has ordered a show of force this week against recent and continuous Red Dragon aggression in the South China Sea, potentially involving the launch of several satellite-guided rockets by Marine Corps M142 High Mobility Artillery Rocket System HIMARS towards the Scarborough Shoal, an atoll in the South Red Dragon Sea, disputed by the Red Dragon, Taiwan, and the Philippines, according to the news. These nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom, rumors of wars are building up really, really quick. When spoken of peace and safety, then sudden destruction shall follow. Breaking news, look at this one here. ICE and CBP agents are scanning people's faces on the street to verify their citizenship. Man, there's a lot of stuff coming out right now. Okay, so we're going to get to all this news here, guys. We're going to get to all this. Let's see what's going on with this nuclear stuff. Boom! Donald orders nuclear weapons testing immediately. The U.S. will immediately begin testing nuclear weapons, the U.S. commander announced in a post to Truth Social Wednesday night. The U.S. commander said he has ordered the Department of Defense to launch the test because of other powerhouse nations' nuclear program. We're about to see a big mushroom cloud test. The U.S. has more nuclear. I don't know about that. We were told that Russia has the most. But according to Donald, we have the most nuclear than any other country. Now, this was accomplished, including a complete update and renovation of existing equipment during my first term in office. The message from the president comes as he visited South Korea Wednesday to attend the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation. Once again, and he met with the Red Dragon leader. Wow. So it says here, this is the first time the U.S. will test nuclear in more than 30 years, since the nation voluntarily stopped testing nukes in 1992. Remember, I told you guys a few days ago, we are moving backwards. We're going back to the Soviets. We're going back to the 1950s and stuff like that. This is not looking good. Once again, the U.S. commander missive came just a day after Putin announced the successful testing of Moscow nuclear power Poseidon torpedo, a long-range underwater drone capable of carrying a nuclear warhead. The U.S. commander orders could signal future use of military power across the globe. This is how it starts. This is how it begins. So the U.S. commander said he ordered nuclear testing to begin immediately, in his post to Truth Social, noting that other world powers like the Bear and the Red Dragon have continually been testing. The country had the second and third largest amount of nuclear, respectively, he said. While the U.S. has the largest stockpile of nuclear in the world, according to the U.S. Commander-in-Chief, the two nations could catch up to America within 5 years. Because of other country testing programs, I have instructed the Department of War to start testing our nuclear on an equal basis. Wow. What's next? See, this is what happened when you listen to the guy from Crane, Zelensky. Excuse me. That's what happened when you listen to him. The Bear and the Red Dragon nuclear capabilities have long been a concern of U.S. and other allied nations. On Tuesday, Vladimir announced that the Bear had successfully tested its Poseidon torpedo, which a senior Russian lawmaker described as powerful enough to incapacitate entire state with no known countermeasures or global equivalent. Now, just a few days earlier, the Bear tested its Borisnik missile known by NATO as Skyfall. According to the Kremlin, the missile traveled 8,700 miles in the test, a claim that could not be independently verified by the Associated Press. So not one, but two, Russia has tested their nuclear. Are you paying attention to the mockers and scoffer? To everyone out there, this is Bible prophecy. We are living it. We are seeing it. We are witnessing Bible prophecy. We don't need no false prophet to tell us that. We don't need no wolf disguised in clothing of lamb to tell us that. Jesus already told us that this is the season. This is the time. Know that I am near. When you hear of wars and rumors of wars, and kingdom against kingdom, and nation against nation, there will be famines, there will be earthquake, there will be pestilence in various places. We are seeing the tip of the famine. We are witnessing like the tip of it here in the Sleeping Giant. November 1st could be the spark of famine. You know what I started thinking about this. I'm like, what if what's going on with the shutdown? Again, the blue is the one that's causing it. But what if the blue is doing this on purpose? So that way, when someone runs for 2028, that person could say, if you choose me to be commander-in-chief, I will make sure and promise you that I will eliminate the shutdown, the gov, and you will never have to go through this ever again. I do believe that it's a possibility. All this stuff, they're doing it on purpose because they have someone, a candidate, that is going to, again, for 2028, that would take the spotlight and deceive many people. It says here just a few days earlier, the Bear tested its Borisnik missile. All right, so following the test, the Kremlin said in recent monitoring of nuclear reflected Moscow's determination to protect its national security in light of increased pressure from the U.S. and European allies to negotiate an end to the biblical war in Ukraine. This is some very, very powerful time that we are living. Brothers and sisters in Christ, this is good news. It means that scriptures is working. We are witnessing prophecy in front of our faces. The U.S. commander on Truth Social on Wednesday said this: the U.S. has more nuclear than any other country. This was accomplished, including a complete update and renovation of existing equipment during my first term in office. Because of the tremendous destructive power I hated to do, but had no choice. The Bear is second, and the Red Dragon is a distant third, but will be even within 5 years. Because of other country testing program, I have instructed the Department of War to start testing our nuclear on an equal basis. That process will begin immediately. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, that's not bringing peace. That is not a peacemaker. Look, again, I'm not trying to bash Donald, but when you start testing apocalyptic toys and other countries start testing apocalyptic toy, there's no peacemaker going on there. Now it's a whole different ball game. Again, guys, 2 + 2 is 4. Okay, bad is sin, and again, good is righteous. Again, it's not bad is good, good is bad. You know, a lot of people in these end times, the mind has been completely given to reprobate mind. A lot of people find this as peace through strength. This stuff right here will lead to, again, depopulation stuff. Nuclear is no joke. So it says here, Nuclear Matters Handbook, revised in 2020. the U.S. nuclear testing program began with the Trinity test on July 16, 1945, at a location approximately 55 miles northwest of Alamogordo, New Mexico. Now called the Trinity Site, the test confirmed that the implosion design equipment used in the Fat Man atomic would function to produce a nuclear detonation, and also gave the Manhattan Project scientists their first look at the effect of a nuclear detonation. Putin said, "The power of Poseidon far exceeds that of our most advanced intercontinental equipment, Mart. There's nothing like it in the world." Wow. The Bear State Duma Defense Committee Chairman Andrei said, "This is really a very powerful type of equipment that is capable of incapacitating or disabling entire states from war. There is no antidote and countermeasures against it today. No one has analogs today." So what happens next? Well, the U.S. commander said testing is scheduled to begin immediately, although details on when and where it would take place were not immediately available. That's where we at right now, guys. Prepare yourself spiritually, physically, and mentally. Now, we're going to go with this next news. The Pentagon creating National Guard quick reaction forces across U.S. Civil war, riots, you name it. Something is going on here, guys. And remember, I told you, 2026 will be a year of martial law. 2026 will be a year of martial law. I said it back in September. What we are witnessing is the tip of the iceberg. I do believe WWE is going to spark under Donald. Donald is a type of man that he don't back down. He don't back down. Donald is a type of man that he's proven. He's shaking people's hand. He squeezed their hands, and Emmanuel Macron, he start crying when he see Donald. Fist bump, fist bump. Again, when you see Donald squeezing leader's hand and pushing him towards them, it goes to tell you that he's like the when it comes to the leadership alpha, the pack of the wolf. The administration of U.S. Commander-in-Chief has ordered the creation of quick reaction forces in each state, composed of about 500 National Guard members per state, according to reports from The Guardian and the Wall Street Journal. The idea appears to be an expansion of executive order that allowed usage of the Guard to combat crime in D.C. enacted in August. The administration has deployed additional federal forces in L.A., Chicago, Memphis, and Portland, facing backlash and lawsuits challenging the move. Man, second-term Donald is no joke. The use of federal forces to target local crime or protests have come under scrutiny of political leaders and lawmakers, requiring Supreme Court involvement. If created, the quick reaction forces will likely face further legal challenges from citizens and politicians. Never seen anything like this. This is where we at right now. We are so close to WWE. We have military all over the states. I mean, it's just a whole different chapter when it comes to world events. So the order comes from a top U.S. military official and aims to train the quick reaction forces in riot control. It says here, forces of this nature are typically used for disaster response, but these would confront civil disturbances across the U.S. According to the report, Major General Ronald Burkett, director of operations for the Pentagon's National Guard Bureau, signed the order on October the 8th, which would allow training of around 23,500 troops across the country in methods involving body shields and platoons, as well as pepper spray and tasers. A top U.S. military official has ordered the guards of all 50 states, the District of Columbia, and U.S. territory to form quick reaction forces, trained in riot control, including the use of platoons, body shields, taser, and pepper spray. The report said troops would be trained on forming squad-sized riot control formation, employing a riot platoon as a member of a riot control formation, and how to supervise a riot/crowd control operation. Man. The order set threshold for the size of the quick reaction forces to be trained in each state. Burkett noted that the executive order issued by the U.S. Commander-in-Chief on August 25th gives the Pentagon authority to proceed with a plan. The memo sets a deadline for forces to be operational by January 1st. A separate memo reviewed by The Guardian orders the creation of a specialized military police battalion within the District of Columbia National Guard, dedicated to ensuring safety and public order in the nation's capital as the circumstances may necessitate. The National Guard has been increasingly responding to certain groups related to the uptick in the U.S. ICE activity in Los Angeles and Chicago in particular. So Abigail Jackson said that the U.S. Commander-in-Chief has lawfully deployed the National Guard to several cities, either in response to lawlessness riots that local leaders have refused to quell, or by invitation to assist local law enforcement as appropriate. The U.S. Commander-in-Chief and the entire administration is working to make the sleeping giant safe again. The Executive Office of the U.S. Commander-in-Chief, in an executive order in August, in part, says the Secretary of Defense shall immediately begin ensuring that each state, Army National Guard, and Air National Guard are resourced, trained, organized, and available to assist federal, state, and local law enforcement in quelling civil disturbances and ensuring the public safety and order whenever the circumstances necessitate as appropriate under law, in coordination with the respective adjutant general. The Secretary of Defense shall designate an appropriate number of each state trained National Guard members to be reasonably available for rapid mobilization for such purposes. In addition, the Secretary of Defense shall ensure the availability of a National Guard quick reaction force that will be resourced, trained, and available for rapid nationwide deployment. So what's next? So what happens next? It is unclear when these forces will be trained or deployed, and the criteria calling for such action is also known. The Supreme Court continues weighing the legality of federal troops deployment in American cities. That's where we're at. So we do have some more news I want to share with you. I want to bring this story up now really quick. Give me a second here. All right, I want to show you that. I want to read that news article, and I want to show you this one really quick before I forget. This is very disturbing, absolutely disturbing. You have this woman here threatened to hunt down, roast, and eat. Oh my goodness. If Gov assistance is taken away. Guys, I cannot say certain things on that title, but that is very disturbing. That is demonic. That is demonic. This world is filled with demonics. That is very disturbing. That is very disturbing. All right, so Pentagon orders National Guard to establish quick reaction forces for potential. Okay, no, it's not this one here. Not this one, not this one. Give me a second here. I clicked the wrong one. We already talked about that one. Here we go. ICE and CBP agents are scanning people's faces on the street to verify their citizenship. That's where we at, man. All these stuff. ICE and Custom Border Protection agents are using facial recognition on smartphones to verify citizenship during street stops. And in one Chicago clip, a Border Patrol agent in casual clothing, baseball cap, sunglasses, neck gaiter, approaches a boy on a bike. "You don't got no ID?" the agent asks. The boy filming the encounter replies, "I was born here." When he admits lacking ID, the agent calls another officer. "Can you do facial?" The second agent positions the boy facing the sun, scans his face with a phone camera for seconds, then checks the screen and requests name verification. Expert call this pure dystopian creep. The tactic uses app like Mobile Fortify for rapid identity checks without warrant. Man, just imagine that. Just taking a picture, just all your information just pops up. It just, man, your social security and everything. That's what we at in these tough times, man. All right, let's go back on X. All right, so EBT recipient says she's going to start eating, excuse me, and a whole bunch of, I'm sorry about that word there, guys. But, yeah, some very disturbing stuff. Very disturbing stuff going on. All right, so we're going to skip a lot of this stuff here. Once again, you have the scientist, Mr. Loeb, accuses NASA of hiding critical evidence about Manhattan-sized comet 3I Atlas. And we're going to skip this one here, but he believes there's something out there. He still believes there's something out there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we do have some more breaking news here. The U.S. strike hits another vessel, this time in the Pacific. The U.S. commander gave the order, and strike was carried out. The Department of War targeted another vessel run by a gang moving the products through Eastern Pacific. Intelligence confirmed it was loaded and active on unknown product. 4 were on board. They were all taken out in a hit. It happened in international water. No American forces were impacted. The ship is gone. The route is closed. The signal is simple. Move product and you will be stopped. I wouldn't say stop. You'd be gone. All right, guys. Breaking news. Just in. The U.S. commander board Air Force One to return home to the US after historic Asia trip. He's coming back home. You know, people say that Donald's a king. That's why they had the no king protest. But I never knew a king could get sued. So, again, they suing the king. According to, again, you got all these people calling him king. But, again, king don't get sued. Looking for something here, guys. Give me a second. Where is it? Give me a second here, guys. Give me a second. There was this news that came out. Okay, so it says here, Donald receives a replica of Golden Crown. Okay, so I really don't know who this person is here. Give me a second. Give me a second. Let me hold on. Give me 1 second here, guys. To be honest, I don't know who's that person. I mean, I just copy and paste, and you have all these things here. If you guys have any idea about this story here, leave comments down below. I have no idea. Again, so the U.S. commander received a replica of Golden Crown excavated from an ancient royal tomb in Gyeongju. All right. All right, so a lot of stuff is going on today, guys. What are your thoughts about all this news that's happening? Yeah, it seems like this is all of it for now. Look at this. Donald and the Red Dragon leader conclude their meeting in South Korea. Wow. All right. Look at this picture. Donald and the Red Dragon leader officially, meets now, discussing fair trade deal. I'm sorry, guys. This is, hold on. This is video here. I can't play the video, guys. I truly apologize. But, again, Donald's shaking hands and talking to him. And he's not even looking at Donald, like, eye to eye. He's turning the other cheek. And Donald's trying to whisper in his ear. He's just turning the other cheek. I guess there's no relations going on there. All right, guys. I think I'm gonna end it here. I'm not seeing anything else. But again, what are your thoughts? Once again, Donald, he's calling for the nukes to be tested immediately, and you know, again, Donald wants the big one. I want to see a mushroom cloud, and I want this thing to be 4K, and I want it to be broadcast to the world, so the world could see that we are the top dog of nukes. Well, again, guys, when it comes to these nuke stuff, I mean, it's very concerning. I think there's other ways of dealing with this problem. People need to start reading First Samuel, actually Second Samuel. King Solomon, that's King David's son. He becomes king of Holy Land, and the Lord came to him in a dream, asked Solomon, "What do you want? I give you what you want." Solomon is like, "Show me wisdom. Show me wisdom. Teach me wisdom. I need wisdom. I need wisdom. I need to take care of this country. I need to take care of my people." And God was amazed. Blessed Solomon with wisdom. The next day, Solomon wrote a letter to the king of Lebanon. And from there, they became good friends. There was no more biblical war. That letter was filled with God's wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. That's something that these world leaders need nowadays, to get down to their knees and ask God to give them wisdom, and for them, again, to bring peace to the world, because only God could bring peace. Man only brings a short time of peace, but then follows destruction. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a good night. Till next time later. Peace.